Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guy. So what better a way to celebrate Women's Day than to do a female's EDC? So in this video I'm going to review my girlfriend's everyday carry gear items. I'm also going to talk to you about why she carries them, what's the mentality behind them, and the tactics that it helps her employ for her basically her everyday life. So let's have a look. So guys, let's get straight into it. The wallet she does carry is this. So this is one of those minimalist style wallets. I do sell these on my website. However, they aren't on my website right now. So if you do want one, you're going to have to mail me directly. I'll put my email address down below. This is a new design to the one I have, which I don't have at hand at the moment. It's got like a bigger finger groove over here. So when you do want to swipe a card out, it's much easier to pull out than the original. I did a full video on this, which should be popping up on your screen right now. The only difference between my one and this one is that bigger, more pronounced finger groove, which gives you more control over your cards. It does also have a strap at the back that allows you to keep some cash in there. This is really cool if you're into minimalism. It doesn't get more minimalistic than this. I really like my version of this. It's basically an two aluminium plates. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I did a video. So check out that video if you want to know more. And then she also started carrying this quite recently, which I'm extremely proud of. This is the Olight i3E EOS. It's a 180 lumen flashlight. It basically sits on a keyring, and there you go, that's how bright it is. It sits on a keyring, and so yeah, she does say she uses it more often now that I've started doing these videos. I don't know, she had it before I started doing the videos, so maybe that's just her trying to be romantic. I am a bit of an Olight sucker. Carrying a torch on you is vitally important. You will only truly realize the value of a torch once you start carrying a torch. But the moment you stick a torch on your keyring or in your back pocket, I promise you, you will find reasons to use it. And it is way more functional, more accessible than your normal cell phone flash. So this, ladies, if you aren't sure, trust me, my girlfriend carries it. She uses it. This is a really useful piece of kit. Also on my website. I'm not trying to push my website, I'm just being honest. You don't have to buy it from me, but check it out. Okay, so next we have this, and now we are getting more into the standard general EDC concept. This is a can of pepper spray. It's made by SWAT. I bought a couple of these. I have one of them myself. Mine is the exact same as this. I really like this because it's light, it's small, it's EDCable. You can stick it in your pocket and nobody will notice, especially if you're wearing something like a hoodie. It's very difficult to depress the activation button by mistake. You've got to sort of slide your thumb into this situation over here at the back. I'll try to give you a good shot of that. So your thumb goes in there, which you really can't do by mistake. This gives you about 15 seconds of spray time. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you are spraying pepper spray into a room or a vehicle or at a person, 15 seconds for that person is going to be a very, very long time. I bought this under recommendation from a police officer. I was in a gun shop buying a knife and I wanted some pepper spray, and he said this is the stuff that he's using and it does really work. Now for women especially, carrying something like this is important because it is virtually entirely non-lethal. You can use this, I'm not saying you should do it, but you can use this by mistake and you can apologize later. You know, if you feel threatened, if you feel like you're in an environment where you're unsafe, you know, I'm not saying do it, but if you need to, you can go absolutely crazy with it crazy with us and just say sorry to everybody else later. So this is sort of her first line of defense. This is a go-to tool if things are going badly. I don't ever recommend things, but it is my opinion that pepper spray is a vital tool for defensive EDC. Think about it, ladies, if you are traveling, if you are on your own quite often, this will deter most people, even I would say to a point, even when they're drugged up. Remember, everything on this channel is my opinion, nothing is a recommendation, but I do know for a fact this is some hectic stuff. And the beauty of it is it's non-lethal. You can get yourself out of a situation and apologize later, as opposed to having to speak to a judge in a court. So now the guys are going to get more excited because now we are going to get into some of the more lethal tools. So this is a push dagger made by cold steel. Try to get a good shot of that for you up close. Okay, it's smooth on the one side and serrated on the other side, and I'll explain to you exactly why we chose this as a lethal defensive option. So my girlfriend came to me sort of towards the end of last year and said she wants to get a gun. I said, sure, what kind of Glock do you want? She said she's looking for something in the line of SIG or CZ, and we haven't spoken since. No, I'm just kidding. So she hasn't decided what firearm she's going for yet. I'm not going to rush her on it, and she's not someone who's going to be rushed on it. But it is important for when the S hits the F that you do have a lethal option. Now, you don't need a blade bigger than this to cause damage if you know what you're doing and if you have a plan. And so the plan behind this cold steel push dagger is, if things are getting bad and things are up close and personal, she's going to go for this. The reason this works, especially for women, all you have to do is grab it, and it's got a cool little sheath, right? So there you go. All you have to do is grab this and punch. And punching is a lot easier mentally than stabbing. I know there are a lot of tough guys out there who have mad knife skills, but the everyday guy on the street like myself, I've got a huge issue with stabbing somebody because I'm just not wired that way, and I don't think I want to be wired that way. You know, I'm the everyday guy. I'm quite normal in the head. I'm not military trained, so for me to take out a knife and stab someone, it's going to take a lot. Now, my girlfriend, I happen to know, will fight if it's necessary, but I don't want her to have to think about that. I want her to have to think, grab this and just punch the guy, and eventually something's going to happen. Now, we've spoken about it. Ideally, we would like to aim for the neck area because there's a lot of things in your neck that doesn't respond well to a blade. And that area is kind of softer than the face and the head and the skull and scalp, that sort of thing. You know, I've heard stories of bullets bouncing off people's skulls. So if a bullet can bounce off your skull at the wrong angle, you know, what is the chances of her trying to jam this in someone's head and it just sort of bending out in her hand, and now she doesn't even have access to this blade, and probably drops it, and then she's got no tool. So kind of be intelligent about where you want to deploy this thing. At the end of the day, these tactics, now it's important to say tactics, there's not a tactical blade. It's the tactics you employ that makes something have a give you a tactical advantage. So these tactics are things I discussed with her and she discussed with me, and we both agreed upon. You've got to have your chat with your lady or with your guy, whatever the case may be, and decide how you want to do it. But these are the things that work for us. Now, it's not hard and fast. It's not absolute. If we learn something better, we'll definitely employ it. So you've got to also evolve with your EDC and your EDC mentality. The reason we like it this size is if you get something bigger and you meant to jam it between a rib and it twists inside the poor person that you jam it into, pulling this through someone's rib is going to be difficult. So now you've lost your tool and you've angered your captor or your attacker. Chances are your attack is going to go down eventually, but eventually can be a very long time when you're being shot at, when you're being stabbed, when you're being beaten. So this is not only to cause maximum damage, but also, most importantly, weapon retention. So many people lose their weapons and it ends up being used against them. So think very carefully about what you're going to employ when you do carry a weapon. This is more than enough. So guys, before I move on to the next thing, I just want to say something about this push dagger. This does hang on sort of a lanyard type thing that goes around her neck. When she can, she will attach it to an undergarment to keep it in one place. But you got to remember, something's around your neck and you're being beaten and flung around, you might have difficulty gaining access to where that is. So you've got to train to get access to that tool as quickly as you can, even though you're being flung around, beaten, whatever the case may be. That is going to be your own personal training development, and you're going to have to learn that in your own ways. So she does also carry one more weapon-related item, and that is this extremely small, extremely inexpensive blade. It's been sharpened, so it's ridiculously sharp, and this tool she uses for nothing else but the following. This is her everything's gone wrong and I need to escape tool. Basically, the key behind this is my girlfriend's very logical. You know, I was like, let's get a ridiculously expensive K-bar or cold steel type knife. And she was like, no, I want something very light and very simple that does not have an opening mechanism. And when I say opening mechanism, I mean like a quick flick opening mechanism. Like I just reviewed this knife, so if you want to check out that review, it's popping up on your screen now. Or a spring-loaded opening mechanism like that. She wanted something that opens manually. So this has no quick opening mechanism. She has to physically open it by herself with her hands. And the reason for that is this tool is for when she is tied up in the worst case scenario in the back of a car, in a boot or something like that. So she will keep this particular knife on random locations on her body where she can access it, whether she's on her back, whether she's her hands and feet are tied, that kind of thing. And this is simply to get out of those restraints. Now, should she have to use it as a defensive tool, that's fine. But this particular blade is used for nothing but that purpose. So it's never been used. Hopefully it never does get used. She doesn't carry it every single day, but when she can carry it, she does carry it, because obviously sometimes your clothing doesn't allow you to carry all your tools in the way you want to carry it. But this is sort of a last line of defense escape blade. So the way she and I looked at her EDC was the pepper spray, first prize. That is, everybody is good. Even the person you attacked is probably going to end up being fine. Then we go to the push dagger, which is, you know, we've got problems now, and we can't escape, and now we've got to fight for our lives. That would be my version of the gun. And then if the push dagger fails, we are now in trouble. We're tied up, we in the boot of a car, that sort of thing. And we've now got to go to your third option, which is this right here. Another good tactic she uses is she will never keep two knives in the same place. So if the push dagger is around the neck, this will be like around the ankle or on her waist. If you have a knife sort of midsection and lower part of your body, it means that virtually no matter what position you put in, you can access one of them. That's very important for when the S hits the F. So that pretty much covers her defensive, aggressive, damage-causing tools. And there's just one or two more things we'll look at, and then I'll talk to you a bit about our next video. So there are two more things that she carries that are maybe different to what other people carry. She carries this pen. Now, I know it looks like just a pen, but it's an extremely fine pointed pen. Now, that isn't for any particular aggressive reason. My girlfriend's a bit of an artist. She also owns her own fashion company. She's one of those people who's just basically talented at everything. And she has chosen creativity as a talent, and she's exceptionally good. I'll try to splice in some images of her art that she's working on as well. She's really, really talented. And then lastly, also a notebook. This is a hardcover notebook, and it's a message. I hope you can see this. So that says happy anniversary to my girlfriend and that I love her. Today is actually our anniversary on Women's Day. Guys, that is what you call tactical planning right there. And so that's my girlfriend's EDC. So there are other things that she carries, like a cell phone, keys, that sort of thing. But that is kind of non-really, that's subjective. You know, you can carry your own personal kind of cell phone. That doesn't really matter. These are the things that I would look at in terms of EDC that do matter, that can make a difference. She also has a Bobby backpack. I did a review on the Bobby backpack. I'll link to it probably in the card popping up right now. She generally carries that more often than not because it gives her hands-free ability, and it's anti-theft, and it's just low-key. So guys, one thing I'll talk about that I'm not going to show is she does carry a small med kit. Now, I'm not going to talk about what's in that med kit, because I personally believe your medical items have to be sort of customized to your own abilities, your comfortability level with what's in there. And I don't want to influence anybody with something that serious. However, she has started carrying an EpiPen. Now, an EpiPen is a quick fix for when you get bitten or stung by things. And in the past, like 6 months, she's been stung by a bee like a few times. And apparently, the more times you get stung by a bee, the more problematic it becomes. So she has adjusted her EDC or a medical EDC to cater for that. And that's something you do need to think about. Your EDC can't be a constant thing, or we'd all still be carrying swords and shields. You know, you've got to be okay with changing your everyday carry items as a better or a new product becomes on the market, especially in the medical side of things. Think about that, you know, go through your things once every few months, and you'll probably find that there are better tools on the market that you can employ to improve your survival opportunities or survival chances. So guys, that is it. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. If this is something you're interested in, please don't forget to subscribe. Also, please don't forget to enter the draw for the honey badger knife. I'm doing that on the 18th, I think I said it was, but I will make certain of it, and I'll put the description of how to enter in the video description below. In my next video, I'm going to be reviewing a Carter custom carry holster. It's a really awesome holster. You don't want to miss that. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good week. Enjoy your holiday today. If you are watching this today on the 9th of August. Thanks so much, guys. Cheers. God bless.